As we've discussed, there are quite a number of libraries available to you as part of the Python standard library. And in this video, I just want to take a brief look at the math module within the Python standard library, which contains many common mathematical functions. So in order to use those functions, you will need to import the math library. And you may recall that I've demonstrated some tab completion capabilities, so if you want to see what's in the math library, you can now type math dot and hit tab, and now you can see all of these different functions and a couple of variables, e, pi, nan, tau, and each of these are technically constants that you can use in your code, but in Python we don't actually have true constant data, which means you could accidentally modify the variables that are predefined in the math module if you assign a new value to them. So you do want to be careful not to accidentally overwrite those variables once you import them into your code. So as you can see here, there's a whole bunch of functions available for your use. Let's say you don't know how to use a particular function and you want to learn more about it. You can type the name of the function and a question mark, and once again it will give you some documentation about that particular function. So for instance, if I want to go ahead and calculate the square root of a value, let's say we want to do the square root of 900, you can see quickly that the square root of 900 is 30, and similarly, let's say we wanted to calculate the absolute value of a negative number, so we could use FABS, which is floating point absolute value, and you can see that it gives you back the positive result of calling that function. So again, if you have any use for basic mathematical functionality, you'll definitely want to take a look at the math library. And similarly, in the online documentation that I've shown you a couple of times now at python.org, you will definitely want to go back once again and take a look at that master list of all the different modules that are built into the Python standard library for you, so that you can get a sense of the categories of functionality that are available, and eventually you'll probably want to dive into a number of those libraries to see what pre-existing capabilities they give you. In Python, they take the everything but the kitchen sink approach, where they include as much as possible so that you can focus on the logic of what you need to get done, as opposed to the low-level details of how to perform everyday tasks that lots of Python programmers have performed in the past. And that's just with the Python standard library. That doesn't include the thousands of other libraries that are available to you, most of which are open source, and you can access many of them on sites like github.com.